And speaking of people getting into El Paso to get into the United States, Eric, you have a look at the numbers of what we have been witnessing over the last several years.
Yeah, they're astronomical. That's what's at the crux of why the President of the United States is here right now in El Paso for this 3+ hour visit, going on almost 4 hours now. What we're about to show you are the number of encounters CBP and Border Patrol have had with migrants along the entire border during the past few fiscal years. Those, now what are fiscal years? Those run from October to September for CBP. So that's why you see October all the way here to September. We're going to start with 2020, and the total number of encounters, 458,000. Sounds like a lot, but let's bring up 2021 now. That number is going to skyrocket now in green up to 1.7 million. It gets bigger. 2022. 2.3 million is now the total here for 2022, and you can see just how much higher that line is compared to this line from just a couple of years ago. And we're only in a couple months. We only have data from the first couple of months of the fiscal year for 2023 of October, November. It's just this little red tick here up in the top right corner, but that total already is right here, this 465,000. And again, important to note so far, because that's just in the first couple of months. That's just October, November. So we still have all of December, which we've seen on your TV screen. We don't have the exact data yet because that has not been released yet. And then, of course, whatever's happened here so far in January. So the pace here, I mean, really just put that into perspective. You've got 465,000 here for the year 2023 over the course of 2 months, 458,000 for the entire year of 2020. I mean, that you've already exceeded what you had for an entire year in just 2 months. So what comes from here? Well, that question remains unanswered because there are a lot of things at play that could change. Lifting of Title 42 could make these numbers go up more. What happens to immigration policy from here, if anything? There are a lot of things that are still at play. And of course, we saw so many migrants coming through in the month of December. So that number, I wouldn't be surprised if it's already closer to 700,000+, because we just seem to be breaking records, monthly records, month after month during this latest surge. And what we saw, of course, through the month of December, with as many migrants as we saw in the streets of downtown El Paso, whether it be by the Greyhound bus station, Sacred Heart Church, which is what we're still seeing today, those are sites that we hadn't seen for a couple of years. And put that into perspective, it's just pure speculation at this point. We'll get those numbers soon. As soon as we do, we will bring them to you. But this number says everything. 465 compared to 458,000 for an entire year. That's just 2 months. 10 more months still to go. So obviously, that is why the President of the United States is here in El Paso now for the better part of going on close to 4 hours. He was scheduled to depart El Paso International Airport at 3:45. It is now 4:06. And he's still on the ground here. So we are continuing to bring you this coverage throughout. But Stephanie, I think these numbers are obviously just so telling.
Why go to a border state and not visit the border?
Because there's a more important thing going on.
The border is secure, but we also have a broken immigration system, in particular over the last 4 years before we came in, and it needs to be fixed.
We're going to have 2 million people cross this border for the first time ever. You're confident this border is secure?
We have a secure border in that is a priority for any nation, including ours and our administration.
You have repeatedly stated that our borders are not open, that they're closed. Do you honestly believe that our borders are closed? Senator, I do.
What's your reaction to the images from the southern border?
Get it under control.
Get it under control, or you have it under control?
We will get it under control.
Is the border safe now? I was watching a news channel and they were talking about an invasion was happening, and I got a little concerned.
Look, the border is secure. The border, we are working to make the border more secure.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas insists
the border is secure.
On the same day, he issued a statement admitting that the United States is, quote, on pace to encounter more individuals on the southwest border than we have in the last 20 years.